As a Salesforce consultant, I need to be able to connect my Claude to multiple Salesforce orgs. However, the first time I tried to set up a connection to a second org referencing the same MCP server, I got an error that says I can't use that URL more than once. This is how I overcame that error. All I was trying to do here was establish a basic connection between Salesforce and Claude. I used this tutorial to set up my Claude Desktop to talk to one of the Salesforce hosted MCP servers within my dev org. The blog post explains how to activate an MCP server in the Salesforce org, create the external client app, and then configure a connector in Claude Desktop. When I then set up an MCP server in another Salesforce org and went back to Claude to create a second connector, I got the error, a server with this URL already exists. Here's a screenshot showing you what that connector URL looks like. As I tried to troubleshoot this issue, I did find a paid third-party app that looked like it'd be a really nice solution. But until I really understand what I need, I don't want to shell out any cash. So then I found a Reddit post that shows how the Salesforce org's domain name can be included in the URL using this format. The pattern starts by typing the letter D between forward slashes, followed by the environment type, unless it's a production or a trial org, and then you don't need to add anything, followed by the full server name. So for me to connect my production org to the Salesforce MCP server named sobject-all, this is the URL that I needed to implement. My Sandbox URL connecting to the same sobject-all server would be this URL. Let's take a look at a real Salesforce org and my Claude, and I'll show you exactly how to set this URL up. Okay, let's start on the Salesforce side. In setup, the first thing that I did was I went to MCP servers. I activated sobject-all, and then I went back to setup and I started typing external client app manager. And then in here, I created an app. I just called it Claude. And I set up the settings according to that blog post. And if you scroll down here under OAuth, you can see these are the selected OAuth scopes that are recommended, as well as the callback URL. And then I captured the consumer key and secret so that I could plug those into Claude. I then opened up my Claude Desktop. Once inside of Claude, head over to the Customize tab, click on Connectors, and click Add, and choose Add Custom Connector. And then I create a custom connector name. For this example, I'm going to call it FSC Trial Org, which behaves like a production org. So I will use this MCP server URL, which follows that format of having the my domain name followed by platform, followed by sobject-all, which is the server name that I'm interested in connecting to. Under advanced settings, because I copied my key and secret, I can paste those in there and click Add. Now I can head back to my connectors list. Because I've already connected to this org before, I'm already connected. If I'm not, like in this one, you can see I'm not currently connected, I would click Connect here, and then I would go through the OAuth process of connecting to that org. Now you can see that I've been able to connect to multiple Salesforce orgs using different URLs.